Hello everyone, welcome back to Tips and Tricks. Well, this video is a documentary about the VIC-20, which is a low-cost color computer made by Commodore. Let's start. The Commodore VIC-20 was released in 1980, but the story of the VIC-20 goes back all the way to 1977, when Commodore released the PET. Morse had designed a chip called the 6560 or the VIC chip. VIC stands for Video Interface Chip. It was meant to be used in biotech monitors, anything that had a color display. But there were no customers for that chip. In 1980, Commodore owner Jack Tramiel wanted a low-cost color computer before the CES show at the end of 1980. Several projects were introduced just to do this. One day, an enthusiastic engineer showed the designs of what he dubbed the MicroPed. When Jack Tramiel saw the MicroPed, he decided it was the computer that they would develop and get ready by CES show. So they used the existing VIC chip and designed the VIC-20. Now let's talk about the similarities between a PET and VIC-20. The VIC-20 and the PET had a lot of similarities. For example, they almost had identical kernel, character set, and even the same basic 2.0. It even had a compatible cassette and user port. VIC-20 users didn't get a built-in monitor, so they had to connect it to their television. Graphics. The VIC-20 doesn't have any graphics modes like the PET, but programmers can redefine the character set. Unlike the PET, the VIC chip can display 16 colors, but only 8 colors are end-user definable. The remaining 8 colors are only auxiliary colors, which are background colors. The VIC-20 text resolution is 22 colors by 23 rows. That makes it worse compared to few other systems. This may seem that it creates a very limited graphic system, but in 1980 there was not much competition. Okay, even though it doesn't have a true bitmap graphics, you can still fill the entire screen with characters. So games like Frogger are essentially filling up the screen with characters using a redefined character set. Another trick is to trade in some resolution for some more color. By cutting the character set into 4x8 pixels, you can get 4 colors, but there's a catch. The VIC-20 doesn't have that much of RAM. Okay, moving on to sound. The VIC chip does not only produce video, but also produces audio. It has 4 voices. 3 are square wave and the other one is just noise. You see, there is no ADSR envelope, so you can't fade the voices. The voices are either on or off. That may seem very limiting, but again in 1980, there's no competition. Okay, moving on to RAM. The VIC-20 had 5 kilobytes of onboard memory. That is insanely small. By 1980, most of the computers had 8K or 16K. So games on disk or cassette were very primitive because they had to fit in 5 kilobytes of RAM. But with cartridges, you could get 16K because cartridge games are in ROM, not in RAM. To explain this better, here's a diagram. So as you can see here in this diagram, a cartridge consists of 16 kilobytes of ROM. So as there's only 5K of RAM, there are all these gaps in between. So if you plug in a cartridge, a few of those gaps are filled. So it works that way. Okay, moving on to disk drives. The Commodore released a disk drive called the VIC-1541 in 1982. Before that, they had to use the IEEE 488 to IEC converter to use a PET disk drive, which was not common. But VIC-20 users didn't need a disk drive as most games came on cartridge anyways. The disk drive was too expensive, retailing at $900, when the VIC-20 itself was retailing at $299. They again had to design a whole new computer inside the disk drive. This disk drive uses the ICE connection instead of the IEEE 488 connection. At first they thought of using a shift register to transfer the data to the serial cable, but a shift register turned out to be buggy. So at the last moment, they configured the CPU to send the data one at a time, which turned out to be slow and affect Commodore later in the future. We'll discuss about that in the next episode. Games for the VIC-20. There are quite a few games for the VIC-20. For example, Omega Race, B-1 Nuclear Bomber, Backgammon, Baghdad, Baja 1000, Bandits, Battlefield, Battleground, Battle of Britain, Battlezone, BBC Master, Frogger, Beast of Eden, Beauty and the Beast, Bingo, Bewitched, Big Bad Wolf, etc. etc. Okay, so the VIC-20 is a success or a failure? The VIC-20 was a huge success as it is the first computer to sell 1,000,000 units. The Apple II didn't reach the million mark, even it had a 3-year head start. The success was mainly because of the low cost at just $299. It has been installed in shops like Best Price or Walmart, places where people commonly go. There were not so specific computer shops. Even in these days, you have to go to a computer shop to buy a laptop or something. In those days, with Commodore products, you didn't have to do that. You could go to your regular supermarket and get a computer. Of course, there are a few drawbacks. The VIC-20 could have definitely used more RAM, but it had bumped up the cost, and decreased sales, so it's a trade-off. So I guess that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this